We move on. We move on and let's talk about viewer queries now, because there are a plethora of funds available in the market to invest your hard-earned money in, but how do you assess the right fund for your portfolio? What are the criteria that one should look at? To help you navigate through this maze, today I have with me Hemant Rustagi from Wiseinvest. Also, do not forget to send across your questions on our WhatsApp number, which is 8657974571. You can also email us your queries on the Money Show at etnow.tv. Hi Hemant, good evening and welcome to the Money Show. And let's quickly begin with our question answer session. I have Himanshu's question via email, and the detail that he sent about his query is that time investment horizon is 25 years. He specified few goals for himself, which is child education and marriage and tension-free retirement. That's very important. And the portfolio has funds like Quant Small Cap, Kotak Multi-Cap, Kotak Emerging Equity, SBI Contra, ICICI Pru Blue Chip, HDFC Focus 30, HDFC Large and Mid Cap, HDFC Mid Cap Opportunity, and he's been investing 70,000 monthly in these funds. So a long set of funds actually in his portfolio though. But then, alright, I don't have him on the phone line because although I have the time horizon for his investments is 25 years, I still don't have the corpus amount that he wants to accumulate for child education, for marriage, and also attention-free retirement. So Himanshu, next time if you're sending, if you're trying to send across a question, please do give us all these details. So we'll just try and give him a ballpark figure that might be needed for these particular goals, Hemant, and then we can start his financial planning.
I think there are two important things here. I mean, since you asked me that how much corpus he can accumulate, so I can say that for his time horizon of 25 years, if he continues to invest for 16,000 that he's investing now, assuming annualized return of 12%, he can hope to accumulate a corpus of around 3 crore. The other two important things, obviously, one is his time horizon is 25 years. All the three goals are very, very important long-term goals, require a large amount of corpus to take care of them. So I think he's doing the right thing in terms of strategy by investing in equity fund through SIP. So I think in terms of investment strategy, in terms of choosing the right asset class, I think he's doing all right. But I think it's important because, like I mentioned, all three goals are very important, that we should have a separate target for each one of them, just to ensure that whatever money you're investing will be enough for you to create the kind of corpus that you need to create for all these three important goals. So that's very important, I think, setting up a goal or the target amount. In terms of funds, if you see, Kavita, here, like for a 16,000 SIP, there are 8 funds. I would say that the fund selection is quite good. I think the funds that he has chosen in different categories are quite good. But I think the problem is that there are too many funds. There is definitely a scope to reduce at least a couple of the funds here, wherever there is some kind of overlap. So, for example, there are 2 mid-cap funds here, Kotak Mid-Cap, Kotak Emerging Equity Fund, and HDFC Mid-Cap Opportunity Fund. Both are equity good. He can retain one of them and invest 3,000 instead of investing 2,000 there. And the remaining 1,000 out of this can actually be added to Kotak Multi-Cap Fund. So that's one. Second is, he also has investment in ICICI Blue Chip Fund. That also he can consider discontinuing and invest that amount into 2 of the existing funds, HDFC Large and Mid Cap and HDFC Focus 30. So the reason why I'm asking him to stop SIP even in a large cap fund is because there is overlap and there are different ways of having exposure to large cap. For example, the Focus 30 and Large and Mid both have decent exposure to large cap. So he won't be compromising in terms of exposure. At the same time, he will be going into the fund where the fund manager has the flexibility to kind of alter the allocation to different segments. So I think a couple of changes, and as I mentioned, very important that he establishes a goal in terms of how much corpus he would require for each one of them.
Alright, since I don't have him on the phone line, I think the kind of explanation you've given him, should be covering all his concerns over this question of financial portfolio, Hemant. So we will quickly move on to Mr. T.K. Ram's question, and he has a White Oak Fund. Is it good to invest or not? Which ETF fund is best for him? And he also has exposure in Nasdaq stock. So again, a lot of details missing, very open-ended question. So how will you narrow it down?
Well, Kavita, I would say that I think it's very important for every investor who is looking to invest in mutual funds or is already investing in mutual funds, I think it's important to understand that there are SEBI mutual fund regulation. Every fund house in the country has to kind of operate in line with whatever has been provided in the regulation. Even the formula of calculating NAV. So everything has been well established. Everyone has to kind of follow that. The differentiation in the performance, basically, when you're considering whether I should be investing in the schemes of a particular fund house or not, yes, the fund house and the pedigree of the fund house is very, very important. But I think what is also important is, like I said, the differentiation in the performance comes because of the investment strategy, investment philosophy that a fund house or the fund manager follows, and the quality of stocks in the portfolio. So I think apart from the fact that sometimes you are comfortable with a particular fund house, but it's equally important to look at these factors before you want to start investing in any mutual fund. As far as the White Oak is concerned, it's relatively a new fund house, but I think the funds have been doing reasonably well. So if you want, you can consider, but I think the important thing apart from the factor that I mentioned is also the suitability of the fund that you're investing in. For taking exposure through ETF and NASDAQ, I think there are a couple of funds which are taking money in both SIP and lump sum route. So one of the funds that you can consider is Invesco India NASDAQ 100 ETF, where you can invest either lump sum or through SIP.
All right. Quickly, we'll move on to Amrish's question, and he wants to know the maturity amount of Quant, Nippon, and SBI small cap fund is taxable or not.
Well, I think the small cap funds obviously are equity funds, so the taxation of equity funds applies there, which means that any capital gain on the redemption of units after 12 months is considered long-term capital gain, and it is taxed at 10%. So the first 1 lakh of capital gain is exempt. But I think it's important to understand that this 1 lakh is for all your equity investment, including the stock. So beyond 1 lakh, you need to pay 10% capital gain on long term. But if you redeem your units within 12 months, then you need to pay short-term capital gain at the rate of 15%, which is same across all equity funds.
Last question, we will take Naman's query, and Naman says he has HDFC Tax Saver, HDFC Top 100, Barak Parekh Flexi Cap, Kotak Emerging Equity, HDFC Flexi Cap, SBI Small Cap. He also has Unibeco Flexi Cap, and he wants 2 crores in 10 years. And total corpus so far that he's accumulated from his investment is 26 lakh. All these funds he's been investing via SIP. Some funds are very old, like HDFC Tax Saver. He's investing since last 10 years. HDFC Top 100 also since last 10 years, and Kotak Emerging Equity started from last 4 months, and Flexi Cap HDFC he has since last 4 years. So a couple of funds which are just few months old, and few which are like 10 to 5 years old. Hemant.
Well, yes, I think the important factor, Kavita, here is that he has another 10 years to go. So and we need to also consider what is the current corpus that he has, which is 26 lakh. His current investment is 23,500 through SIP. Because the target is 2 crore, to get there, I think he will have to increase his SIP amount to 50,000. So clearly there is a gap between what he's investing right now and what he needs to invest to get to the corpus of 2 crore. So he needs to really work on that, because even though he has 10 years to go, the average holding period will be 5,000. So I think he needs to increase his amount as soon as possible to achieve his target. I think in the portfolio, I would say there are a couple of overlaps. I think we need to really work on. So he has the Canada Robeco Flexi Cap Fund. He has got total 3 Flexi Cap funds. So what he can do is he can consider a large and mid cap fund against this fund, which could be Motilal Oswal and mid cap. So I think he can invest that money there. Then he also has HDFC Flexi Cap, and he also has the Barak Parekh Flexi Cap, where he's investing 3,000 rupees. So I think he can discontinue his SIP in HDFC Flexi Cap and invest that money in Barak Parekh Flexi Cap. One, this fund has been very consistent performer. The second advantage is that around 17-18% is invested in US stocks. So by investing in Barak Parekh Flexi Cap, you also get some global diversification also. And then I think there is this SPI Small Cap Fund, which I believe that there are better funds in that category. Maybe you can consider Nippon Small Cap, as against SBI Small Cap.
Okay, I think that will be all for today. Thank you so much, Hemant, for taking time out and answering our viewers' portfolio queries. And on that note, it's time to sign off, and I'll be leaving our viewers with our WhatsApp number and email ID, where we keep waiting for your questions. Just in case you have any query regarding any mutual fund, insurance, or any aspect of your financial portfolio, do send across your question on our WhatsApp number and email ID. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.